Hey everybody, how you all doing? And welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions News Weekend, the weekend edition where we look at more of the discussion points, we look at some funny things, but we have a serious discussion and I read the comments from the last week's issue as to what people's thoughts and opinions are on matters that were discussed in that particular episode. And without further ado, let's start. I want to kick off Marvel Contest of Champions News Weekend with a discussion, and the discussion that I'm going to pick up on next week, and the point is with this: fairness. What really constitutes a fair compensation for times where item spend has been quite extensive on something like a particular node or a particular difficulty, and Kabam have had a bug which, yes, okay, they didn't really think they were at fault at, but through changing one thing it then causes issue elsewhere. Where do we lie on compensating that and the value of this? As you can see, this is a story that we talked about on Friday's MCC news. And the fact is, a lot of people aren't happy with this because they felt that they overspent on something which they thought was working as intended, when in fact it wasn't. And what they got back isn't really equal to what they spent, and is a kind of what Kabam can see as being a rational thing, but it doesn't feel fair to the player. This is the question: what constitutes fair? Exactly like for like and what you spent you got back, or something that is above and beyond what you'd expect? Where do you lie on fairness for compensation? Put it in the comment section and we'll come back next week to see what your thoughts are. And now on to the discussion point from last week, which is all about the Summoner Sigil. It's been a big thing at the moment, and a lot of things, as even Al says, all the things that we have been wanting are now behind a paywall. And yeah, that is the disappointing side of things for a lot of players. They kind of feel that this may be a way that they are going to go in the future. Even there's a rumor, which I can't really talk about at the moment. It could be some data mine information that maybe points to further additions to this. But as soon as it's been announced, I'll probably be able to talk about it a bit more. SOS says Kabam has a pattern where they would have been there in three tiers: advanced, greater and lesser. So I won't be surprised if they have a subscription. The $10 one is the test of the water to see who would buy it. Love the Sunday MCC news, keep it up. Hey, cheers SOS. And yeah, it does feel that could be the way that Kabam go, with having different perks for future things. Greg writes, I wouldn't mind a subscription if the rewards are actually worth it. At first blush, Kabam's attempts look underwhelming. Make it a nice juicy subscription and I'm all in. The annoying thing for me, especially as being a YouTuber where we hoard, I know Kabam don't want us to hoard, well, the 4-star conversion to the 5-star crystals, the reduced price of the 5-star featured, is frustrating because the ISO market does make it look like it's interesting for me, and I'm still very much on the fence, but I do see value in it. But I'm just a bit apprehensive about where we're going with this as a future idea of tiering systems, possibly. Bosley writes, the beginning of the end for MCOC. The game has never been less free to play than right now. Optional? Yeah, okay. And yes, obviously there is a price structure to this, so you will have to kind of pay to get it. And will it be the way that's going to continue in the future? I don't know. Hot Chick writes, the problem is not with the paywall. The problem is giving people what they've been asking for ages behind that paywall. And obviously a lot of people have said that. Constant things like a market. One thing that I do worry about is something that players have asked for, like a champion swapping service or a champion trading market. And having something like the Black ISO market does make me feel that if that is a thing, it could be put behind a paywall. And it could be other stuff as well. Now, it's a good business decision from Kabam's perspective to add more. If they add substantial amounts of things, then it would be better. The same way other games have done the same as well. RuneScape, as we said in the past, Raid, other game that I play, but it isn't too bad. Like, you don't have to purchase the Raid's improvements in order to get further in the game. It does add benefit, of course, but you are able to grind out for free, and things don't cost a lot. Things are easy to obtain. Sajanik says, as I was saying, it's the end of free to play. I mean, for a lot of players, it does feel like that. I mean, for Brian Grant's perspective, he won't be able to go down that route. And for him, who does a lot of hoarding, this would put a lot of negativity in what he does. Maybe he will decide to spend at a later date and change the direction of his channel. Possibly. I really don't know. Dear Jun says, if I can survive Cavaliers, I can survive Summoner Sigil too. Free to play for life. Some players will go down that route and continue on that same vein. Gala says, we should just say all champs suck. Overhyping a champ, just asking for him to get nerfed. Arena scores going off the charts. Those are things that I do agree with, that I do find frustrating. And yeah, it's kind of, I'm kind of feeling if I do a CTP champion in the future, I probably need to box clever with overhyping, and I think that's what I need to do. I don't know if anyone else will follow suit, but that's just me. Austin says, I think Kabam releasing the Sigil just shows they just want more money. They didn't have to release while there's still bugs to fix. Fix the bugs first, then think about kind of saying, right, should I be rewarded for this? Of course, keep it like that. And thank the man Moses puts a little comment in. CEW Gaming King says, I probably will buy the subscription. It's worth it. For some months, I might need for daily cards for units are very valuable and good. Yeah, I mean, that could be a thing that we looked... If they add any kind of extras, like improvements to arena grinding, like you gain X amount more money gold, X amount more battle chips, and X amount more of units. If that was an added element for me, I think it would sway me more for the arena grind. But there's some positives, some negatives to it, of course. I mean, that's not really relevant, but thank you. The game is already dying now. I don't think it's completely dying, but it's definitely with these things. You have to ask questions of why Kabam are doing certain things now where they didn't do it years ago when other games were doing the same. But I mean, that's just my question on it. I see multi-tiered subscriptions that price goes up and adds lots of extras and game material. Of course, if they did something with the first one being of value, as I said, improving battle chips, units, maybe gold that you get from arena, that would be a better way of doing it. And again, like do bear in mind there could be more changes or more things added to this, and I hope they create more value around it. Especially maybe $9.99 was a bit too much. Maybe £5 would have been enough, and that would have been pretty cool. Or combine the unit deal and the sigil together in like a nice little package. I would say that would have been quite good. But also add in the extras of improved arena grinding, so it reduces down the time in arena, as in like getting more battle chips, more prems, and blah 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 blah. I stopped playing games when it offers tier subscriptions like a cable company. Yeah, that may deter people in the future, of course. Carlos says they're so greedy for cash but stingy with items. Yep, man. They don't start listening to the community. They do need to start listening more. I feel that they're going to buff the rewards that are worth about $20 but make the price $50 just like every other offer they come out with. You just don't know where Kabam are going with this. And it is at times a little bit worrying. You know what, the games which have the Royal Pass are also 100% free to play. Means this does not affect the player, is free to play. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I did skip I didn't really kind of do my research properly with the Royal Pass side of things, because you get a lot more from those passes. I'll just see if I can just get the raid information. And as you know, Raid is a game that I did for a sponsored content, but at the same time, I've kept on playing it. And what you get from the Raid passes, like for example, if you do a 6-month with them, which is £50, so I think that comes out a little bit less than $9.99 per month. And you get plus 20% to XP from campaign battles. You get plus 20% to silver from campaign battles. And more multi-battle attempts, which is something that you just like click a button and it just starts grinding through. And like one thing as well is that they do the same thing as Kabam are doing, which is a 7-day trial for free, and then after that it's $9.99. But you do save more if you do a 6-monthly. I think Kabam may go down that route at a later date. Yeah, in comparison to Raid, it's £8.16 for me, £8.16. To kind of get all those kind of bonuses. So whether or not Kabam will go down that route, and yeah, okay, it's not a massive saving, but it's a saving nevertheless. Let's move on. The Skylab says, Kabam used to run a Hobbit game that I used to play. Safe to say that game isn't a thing anymore. Also a cash grab, pay to win. It's going, and the game's going somewhat. Yeah, I just don't know if, I know Kabam will learn from lessons. They're specifically still a fresh company in the game industry, because they haven't been going a lot of time, so there's a lot of learning that needs to be done, and kind of understanding structure and play models. And maybe when it comes to their next game, they'll get these things completely right. So we'll have to see. I plan on subscribing to the Sigil. It means worth to me. People have been asking for just about everything for a long time. It would be hard to add everything, but someone hasn't said they want to add to the game at one time. I wish the energy cost was lower than it is, though. Gaining just 2 energy per hour is underwhelming. There's lots of tweaks I feel that Kabam could make to make it really appetizing for people, but at the moment it's just maybe not there as it should do. But again, the worry is that the increased price could be a thing. And now that we've got the ISO market and a few other things in practice, man, I don't really know what to say with it, because I see value, but at the same time, I don't want to go down this route of where it ends us up in the future. So they just need to make it so you can buy subscriptions with units. I mean, yeah, I mean that would be obviously a good thing, better thing. As long as it didn't affect the arena points, it's okay. Yeah, I think if you get more from it, like as I said, more battle chips, more units, more gold, then it would be brilliant. Wolverine says, Scuff Studio. I'm working on it. If people's knickers are up in arms about this beta paywall, just wait until Kabam refines it and puts out a tiered paywall. Yeah, exactly. If it goes down that route, then I mean, I'm not really spending as much as I used to. I produced some kind of stuff for my accountant, just said like, you know, this is what I'm spending in the games, and theoretically a lot of stuff is for review, and I spent a lot less. Each year it goes down, and that's just a case of, it just goes back to what I'm going to do this talking point for next week, where we talk about the bugs. And I'm not happy with a lot of the bugs that still remain, and at times when bugs creep up, and it kind of feels like, well, that's my time and effort that's lost on spending units to get the revives in order to get myself through difficult content based on bugs being there and me not being compensated back fairly 100%. It just feels like, well, it's not fair. And it's like, well, and I understand games aren't meant to be fair at times, but it should be fair on your time grind, and other games aren't exactly like that. But I want to thank everybody for commenting. We had 76 comments on the video. I'm sorry I can't put everyone in, but it's nice to kind of do the conversation. And as well as thank you to some of my members, including Kaiser, who commented as well. And yeah, thanks everybody, and get involved with the discussion for next week. Now let's get a bit of positivity going, and let's do a bit of meme review. Yes, meme review, people. Meme review. Summoners, Gold Realm's over. Summoner Sigil, Gold Realm included. I thought this was quite funny. Petition for this guy to be renamed New Man Logan after the buff. Meanwhile, at Kabam headquarters, Omega Red and Cable when you bring bleed champs against them. So, you have chosen death. Oh my god. I do like this, even though it's not really MCOC. The world is in danger. We don't care. We're looking fabulous. For the Star Wars fans amongst you, unlimited power. There we go, guys. That has been Marvel Contest of Champions News Weekend and Meme Review. I'd probably give the memes this week probably about like a 4 out of 5. There were some good ones there, but it's not as good as last week. Last week was hilarious. But I'm sure you guys will hit it out of the park in the meme thread, and I look forward to seeing them next week. Thank you very much for watching. Please get involved with the discussion, and also thanks for discussing some of the Sigil stuff. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I shall catch you next week for the news weekend. Bye-bye.